Hello, my friends. Well, let's talk insulation. I've been racking my brains thinking about what's the best approach for this van. And what I was going to do is I was going to use the Great Stuff foam sprayed in the cavities. There's all these openings on the top and the bottom of the van. So I was going to spray it in there, and I was going to use big blocks of polystyrene to help fill the voids. But I did some research, and I have some real strong concerns about the Great Stuff foam. One guy, he filled a 2-liter pop bottle, like a Coca-Cola bottle, full of the foam, and then cut it like a week later or something, and it was still liquid inside. It had not cured, and that can be quite toxic. So there's a lot of spots in this van where I'm not sure if it's going to dry or not. I mean, it probably will, but I decided to not use the Great Stuff for those parts. I'm still going to use it for the ribs above, because there's lots of holes in the ribs, and I'm fairly confident that it'll cure properly in there. But what I did do for the walls is I bought a big roll of Thinsulate. Cost me $365 US plus 110 shipping US. So it ends up being like a lot of money Canadian. I forgot exactly what it was, but I think it's like $600, maybe more. A lot of money. But thinking about it, I thought, so I spent $400 more than I want to. It's an outrageous price for this Thinsulate, but I don't want to get sick. And the Thinsulate's not going to make me sick, and I know that. So and I think that it's a risk with this spray foam stuff. So this is how I'm insulating. Well, at least the first stage. I'm using these beams, some of them legit, some of them janky. Super duper duper, yes, I'm talking to you, janky. I got this foam glue pressed between the polystyrene and the ceiling, and the hope is that leaving this pressure system in place, it will adhere properly. So I'm putting Thinsulate in the top and the bottom where all the cavities are, and on the side panels, I don't really know. I got 30 linear feet, so I'm going to see how much that is. They say 1 linear foot is 5 by 5 feet. That's quite a bit. So if I have that much, maybe I'll be able to do more with the Thinsulate. But what I do want to do in the cavities, I want to double it. So each piece is about 1.5 inches. So I want to use 3 inches and put it in there. But if I don't really have that much, or I'm concerned, I think I'm going to do the side walls, the polystyrene, and get that all ticky-poo that way. I also want to do the sliding door Thinsulate, and probably the back doors of Thinsulate as well. So I am starting the roof with polystyrene, and it's taken forever. So this is what's going on right now. This is going to be really thick. That's and 1/2 inch, 2 inches, and I'm gonna add another layer. So they fit together, and then these two right here, you can see are already joined and glued in place. So that'll be all ticky-poo. And then I'm gonna fill these ribs with the Great Stuff foam. I'm gonna fill this in first with another piece of blue stuff, but a lot of this is already gonna be filled in with the Great Stuff, I think. So coming along, I got these in place because the cedar planks, tongue and groove for the ceiling is gonna go into those pieces of 2x5, well, it's 2.5 inches. So and that's how I'm doing it. And these little strips were a pain in the neck. You can see back here, so these ridges in the roof, there's not as many as in the back, but in the middle, every one of these things is a ridge. Here's a ridge, here's a ridge, here's a ridge, here's a ridge. And they're all different heights. So it affects the depth of the polystyrene. And then over here I left a space for my skylight, which I'm gonna put in. And I'm just holding these in place with some long sticks. And by the time I'm ready for bed, this will be dry. And I could take these off so I'm not sleeping with sticks in my bed. Now that would be gymnastics. And over here is my mess. Welcome to living in a van when you build it. Total mess. Nevertheless, 100% battery's full. I've been had the fan cranked, and I'm getting 35.4 volts into the solar panel. So I'm doing well. I'm gonna crank this up before I leave to try to get some of the hot air out of here. Good times. So here we have a bunch of pieces all lined up. And what I'm doing is cutting 15-degree edges, and then I'm alternating up and down so that they fit together, like so. And then it can curve to the edge of the roof just a little bit. This part I'm just leaving with no curve. There's not really any point because I need to leave a gap, because I'm going to put spray foam insulation in the gaps to help glue it together. But this is going to be a section of the ceiling, roughly 5.5 feet. And I'll show you where that's going to go. From there all the way to there. And this whole section's already finished. But eventually it's going to be double thickness, 2 layers of this blue stuff. And you can see in here why this is going to be very difficult to insulate if I use polystyrene. So there's curves, there's all those metal bracket things in the way. Pain in the neck. Now, I have to say, a fellow that I know locally, he got his van sprayed professionally, and it cost him $1,300. And he said that he calculated to do it himself would be about $1,100. So totally worth it to pay the extra $200. By the time you buy the extra materials you need and stuff, it'd probably be the same anyway. But I checked out his van. He's got a Sprinter, and I was pretty impressed. I gotta say that it was like 2 inches thick, and there was no metal exposed. There was no off-gassing that I could smell. So considering that he didn't have the use of his van for 1 day, but now all the insulation is finished, that is a big plus. Going back in time, I would have seriously considered going that route, because insulating may take me the rest of the summer. I don't know. So $1,300 might be worth it, but it is a lot of money to insulate something. But you know, tend to have this van for a good 10 years, so you know, buy once, cry once. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and be well, my friends.